Hey guys, Off the Mic Sports Network here, another edition of Off the Top Rope. So some big news. You guys know I don't like to really go down the political realm here, but this is a very serious situation. So as everybody knows, the United States went after Iran and went after nuclear bomb facilities, and they went through that whole process, and it was an attack, and it was very public. Donald Trump is gloating, yada 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 yada. If you guys don't know the story, you can go. I'm not going to be the news source who's going to relay this stuff, and I may have spared some details, or I may have said some things the wrong way. But you guys know the story. So really, the story here, and why I'm talking about it, is because in 6 days, at the time of this recording, WWE has a pay-per-view premium live event in Saudi Arabia. And in 5 days, they're going on the air for Friday Night SmackDown. They're going out there this week. Saudi Arabia in Riyadh is not far away from Iran. Let's just say that. This is not a safe environment. We talk about safe working environments in professional wrestling. This is potentially a war zone that they are walking into on Friday and Saturday. And there has been reports saying that television networks have said any outsider or American is basically deemed like a threat. Not really a terrorist, but a threat. And that's a problem. So the question becomes, should WWE A, postpone, or B, cancel Night of Champions? The answer to that question is, I don't know, because there's a lot of things that need to be vetted out before they make this move. We'll see what happens on Monday, because they still have to determine King and Queen of the Ring finals. Most of this card is already determined. WWE has a contract that they signed that they have to honor, that they signed, I think, back in 2018, that started with the Greatest Royal Rumble. And so this is a contractual thing, but also this is a safety thing for the superstars. Now, there's a couple ways you can go about it. You could send the select talent that you need out there, but the problem is this isn't just a Night of Champions thing anymore. This is a Night of Champions and SmackDown thing. So the SmackDown roster's got to be out there, and then everybody who's on the show for Saturday has to be out there too. And there are some big names involved in this show. There's Cody Rhodes, possibly, more than likely. Randy Orton. There is, you've got John Cena and CM Punk. You've got Asuka already. Jade Cargill could be potentially one of those women advancing, or it's Roxanne Perez. So you've also got the United States Championship, Solo and Jacob. And then you've got the AJ Styles is facing Dominic Mysterio. So listen, and then you've got Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton set to take place on SmackDown. You've got Julia and Zelina Vega set to take place on SmackDown. You've got a tag team championship match on SmackDown in Saudi Arabia. So listen, when push comes to shove, WWE is going to try to do everything they can to make this thing happen. They are. Do I think that's the right thing? No, I don't. If it comes down to it, I think WWE should absolutely play it safe and, either A, reschedule it and do it at a different point. I understand timing wise, it's not going to really necessarily be perfect. And given the way that they're booking things, obviously with the big weekend coming up in the middle of July in Atlanta with the, NXT, and then Saturday night's main event and Evolution, that you've got to kind of keep moving the line down the road to get there. And then obviously you got SummerSlam in August, which they had a kickoff event at Fanatics Fest on Saturday. So this is a really, really crazy situation that's shaping out in front of our eyes, because I can't imagine. The other thing that needs to be considered here is, does talent back out because of their own safety? Like we've seen that like with COVID, where talent just backed out. And I'm wondering if that's going to happen here, and they're going to have to, rebook this thing, which would suck. But again, this is real world shit. At the end of the day, the safety and health and everything of these superstars and these people that go out there to entertain us, they entertained us through a pandemic, to put them in a fucking war zone after we just bombed the country. Are you freaking kidding me? That's insane. Okay. So I'm really curious to see how WWE is going to handle this because one way or the other, something is going to happen. Okay. They're either going to go or they're not going to go, or superstars are going to back out or they're not going to back out. I've talked with my sister about this. WWE has been doing this for what, 6, 7 years now. They know a way to, like, do this in some sort of safe and sound matter. And if they can find a means to do that, they will do everything that they can to make sure that their talent is safe from any type of nonsense that's going on in the Middle East. Okay. But this is such unfortunate timing. The Saudi Arabian shows, I've never been a fan of them in the first place. Um, Look, and anybody, and I've talked with a couple people about this. Yes, this was a Vince McMahon thing, but listen, TKO is going to get into the business with the Saudis too. Like, they're all about making money too. So this was bound to happen at some point. It's unfortunate that, hey, real world things with our country and our president decides to just do things on his own and, act on certain things. And it could directly affect a lot of other people's livelihoods, including a big event that WWE is trying to put on in Saudi Arabia. Listen, I'm not trying to say that that's like, more important. Listen, at the end of the day, Triple H, Nick Khan, and everybody within TKO have got to make a decision very soon about what they're going to do about this. If it were me, I wouldn't go. If it were me, I would figure out a way to do this in a different place. I would either cancel it or I would figure out a way to do it in a different place. Because this is not COVID where you can isolate people and, you can put them away from everybody. This is a legitimate war zone type situation where you don't know what's going to happen. And it's completely unpredictable. And something goes haywire and your talent's in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not suggesting that any of this would happen, but you have got to be very careful. You have got to be very careful because you have no idea what the situation is going to look like. It happened on Saturday. Here we are. We've got 6 days to figure this out. Really 5, because they got to get there. They got to get there Wednesday, Thursday night, because then they're doing a show Friday night. And then they're doing a show Saturday night. That's what's happening. So they've got to figure this out really soon. And I'm scared. I'm very scared as a WWE fan, but I am also very scared above all, even as a wrestling fan, but above all, as a human being. I am scared for all these talent who sacrifice their lives to entertain us and do everything they possibly can. Injuries happen, but when you're talking about putting somebody in harm's way, like this is potentially looking like, that is a dangerous, dangerous game that you are playing with your talent. So I hope they make the right decision. And like I said, I don't think they should go, but if they're going to go, they better really vet this out very carefully and have every contingency plan laid out before they even get on the plane to go to Riyadh. So that's my thoughts on that. We'll have a lot more coming in here. If the show does indeed go on as planned, we will have pre and post show stuff here on the channel for you guys. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel here. And just above all else, even in the United States, please stay safe out there. Please be safe. Even with these people traveling, it's going to be dangerous here in the United States too. So please be careful out there. Please be safe. Peace and love. Let's try to do this. This has been a very chaotic time in the United States of America. So the divisiveness, whether it's in here or it's with the political stuff, please just be safe. Be smart, okay? Anyway, see you guys. Bye-bye.